her dreams are out of this world. Literally. Abby Harrison, otherwise known as Astronaut Abby, has dreams to be the first astronaut to set foot on Mars.
On Mars, folks. And she works to make her dreams a reality. Boy, does she work. She's inspiring others, too, with her new book. We want to welcome Abby. Astronaut Abby, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I mean, we were just talking to you in the break, and all of us were floored. Just give us an idea of what your day is like, because you're at Harvard in the morning, you're flight training in the afternoon. I mean, what in the world's going on in your life?
Yeah, so I have a couple facets to my life. I have my job as a research scientist at Harvard Medical School, and I spend a lot of my day doing that, of course. And then in the evenings, I get to spend my time either flight training for my instrument rating, which is the next portion of my pilot's license, and flying airplanes, or working with my teams both at Penguin Random House for publicity for my book and to get the word out about it, and working with my team at the Mars Generation, which is a nonprofit that I co-founded to excite and support young people in STEM. So that's science, tech, engineering, and math.
I'm just getting tired watching you list all of those things. My goodness, the big brain on Abby. This is fantastic.
We thank you for squeezing us in here. Take us back to this journey, because for you, it started when you were just 11 years old. You wrote down that dream. Oprah says, write everything down to affirm it, that you wanted to become an astronaut. Where are you now on that path?
Yeah, so I completely agree with Oprah. The more you write down and the more that you make plans, you don't have to stick to those plans necessarily. The plan that I wrote out when I was 11 is very different from what I'm doing now. In some ways, there are some things that are similar. But to give you an idea of some of the things that I've accomplished along the way to support this dream and to chase this dream of becoming an astronaut, as I said, I'm a pilot, I'm a research scientist. I've actually worked at the Space Life Sciences Labs as well as an astrobiology researcher. I have studied Spanish, Russian, and Mandarin Chinese.
Holy smokes.
What?
I'm an advanced scuba diver. I have experience with parachuting and skydiving as well. And I have
Look, you win, Abby. You win.
You got it. You got this.
You know, you can stop right there. Let me just tell you something. You make me feel good.
Can we swim?
I can't even swim.
I can't swim either.
But at 11, I also, too, just like you, Abby, wanted to be an astronaut. I wrote it down, and look where I ended up. I mean, I guess there's hope for others who are not like me, but like Abby. How close are you to being the first astronaut to Mars?
It's a great question. So I always like to clarify about this. I'm not an astronaut yet. I'm currently 23, so I'm a little bit young to be an astronaut at this point. I'm hoping to go into a PhD program next year, which will be a really important step along my journey towards allowing me to apply to the NASA astronaut program. And so I have a couple more years before I become a real astronaut. And after that, I think that it's very likely that we'll have humans on Mars within the next couple of decades. I think that based on the technology that we have and the research that's being done currently, I can say it with confidence that it's extremely likely that in the next couple decades we'll be on Mars, and hopefully that person will be me.
Abby, you just said
Abby.
You're 23, right?
23.
Did I get that right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
I mean,
hope may be lost, Abby, for Betty and myself.
Mere mortals like us.
Mortals. But perhaps for kids out there who are lucky enough to get this book, you are teaching. You're teaching them how to really dream as big as you did. And for folks who maybe don't want to be an astronaut, maybe they want to be something else, you're teaching them how to actually find what that dream is. And walk us through that.
We could have tapped into that as 11-year-olds.
If we had the book.
Absolutely. So Dream Big, How to Reach for Your Stars it's a guidebook essentially that teaches young people, or anyone who wants to read it, but it was written more towards a young person perspective, that teaches them how to figure out what it is that they're passionate about, what that dream is, and then walks you through the whole series of planning for that dream, finding mentors and people to support your dream, looking for opportunities, figuring out how to really believe in yourself and your dreams, all of these kinds of things, really teaching the skills and tools that you need in order to be successful. And what it is it's a distillation of everything. I've been chasing my dream for the last 2 decades, which feels really weird to say at this point, but I decided I wanted to be an astronaut when I was about 3 or 4 years old. So it's been 2 decades now. And this book is all of the lessons that I've learned and all of the things that I've been so lucky and fortunate to learn from other people and from just doing it, going through the process, about how to dream big and how to make those big dreams a reality, how to actually make them happen.
You are an example of that. I want to bring in our group here, our band of underachievers compared to you.
Like, why?
Because we have clearly a lot of questions for you. OG?
I shouldn't even speak in your presence at this point. I don't know what to say because I just kept saying to myself, you should be ashamed of yourself, OG. You should be ashamed.
I know. I wanted to take the mic off and just go home.
I was listening to you. I was like, why am I here? I have nothing to. I don't know I'm not worthy to ask you a question, Abby. That's what it is. I'm gonna go achieve something, and then I'll come talk to you.
Yes.
This is ridiculous.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to walk out of the room after this. My head is getting so big.
I love it. Astronaut Abby, congratulations on everything you've accomplished in your tender 23 years. I need to know, what on earth did your parents feed you when you were growing up? Did they force you to read books? Did you play games? What do you do when you're not taking over the world of space as a woman?
So when I was a kid, I was raised by my mom, who's a single mom, and she didn't do anything really special, I suppose.
Shout out to Mom. That was nice, Abby.
Right? Sorry, Mom. When I was younger, she didn't quite believe in my dream until I was about 11 years old, actually, was when she started to believe in my dream. We had this talk because I'd been saying for like my whole life, so years and years and years, I'd been saying, I'm going to be an astronaut, I'm going to be an astronaut. And she thought that I was just, being a kid and saying things like, I'm going to be a princess or I'm going to be a superhero. But it turns out that I kept saying it. And so eventually when I was 11 years old, she sat down with me and when she tells this story, she likes to call it the come to Jesus talk, where she essentially told me how difficult it would be to become an astronaut and she wanted to make sure that I understood the decisions that I was making and that I was actually committed to this path and this goal. And she challenged me to go and make a plan, to do some research, to figure out what kinds of steps I actually needed to take in order to succeed at this, and then to put them down on paper and to show her how I was going to go about from that very early age, what I was going to do to succeed at this goal. And I did. I came back the next day and I had a plan written out to show her. And after that, she became my biggest supporter, and she carted me around the country to go to launches and to speak at schools and to do outreach work and science communication. And eventually we co-founded a nonprofit together. She's actually the co-founder of the Mars Generation.
I tell you what.
Shout out to your mom.
Absolutely. Single mom power there.
Yes.
Congratulations to her. Your success is her success. Abby, is she worried though at all that you may go to Mars and not come back?
We've talked about this actually, which isn't a conversation that most kids have to have with their parents, I think. But we've talked about it, and she said that that's something that future her will have to worry about, essentially, that it's far enough off in the future right now that she doesn't worry about it at this point in time.
Well, maybe by that time.
When I'm on the launch pad, she'll be a nervous wreck, of course.
For sure.
Well, we want you to come back. We want you to go and come back and tell us your success story, because I know there will be a huge one in that. Abby, thanks for joining us today. You have just been so fun to talk to.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was great talking to all of you as well.
Absolutely. I would say best of luck, but you don't need it. Abby's new book, Dream Big, is in stores now, and we do appreciate speaking with her. Boy, she just really makes you want to go out and tackle the world, right?
Inspiration.
Sure. For
Yes.
sure, for
23.
sure.
3-4 languages.
Right on top of all of that.
On top of everything else, just extracurricular.